Now, the Japanese yen has fallen to a 7-month low this morning as concerns grow that Japan's economy is in serious trouble. Numbers out today show that exports, which the country is heavily reliant on, fell for a 5th month in a row. Trade to China, in particular, has been badly affected. This is on the back of a territorial dispute, which has resulted in the boycott of Japanese products. There's worry about the forthcoming election as well, and, of course, the recession in Europe. That's hurt exports too. Exports to the EU actually have fallen for 13 straight months now. Well, I'm joined by Yannick Naud, who is a portfolio manager at Glendiven King Asset Management. You've been in Japan now for several years, or you've just come back from Japan?
Yes, I used to work in Japan, yes.
So, how much are we to blame what's been happening in China, the political spat between China, or territorial spat between China and Japan?
I think there's a combination of many factors. The spat with China is not helping. I mean, one of the items that dropped the most for the export of Japanese goods to Japan is, in fact, auto sales. It's been down 82% compared to last year, and it's probably on the back of the tension between Japan and China. Back in 2001, when the Prime Minister Koizumi did visit in October 2001 the Yasukuni Shrine, it went down 90%, almost 90% as well. So I think this is a temporary factor, but it is an important factor.
But is there not a structural problem possibly within corporate Japan? I'm thinking about the failures we've seen recently. Toyota, the endless recalls we see coming from Toyota, the inability for many of the big electronics companies to get into things like the smartphone market. I mean, that's a real failure of corporate Japan. What's going on there?
Talking about a smartphone, one of the reasons why the trade balance the number was so bad today is, in fact, export from China to Japan increased by 4% this month because of sales of iPhone in Japan. I think it's true. Consumer electronics have lost their way. If you look at Panasonic plus Sharp plus Sony, in the last 5 years, they lost more money than what they made the 20 previous years.
Isn't there something more fundamental just about the way that Japanese companies work? Perhaps they're just not as well suited to the international markets as they used to be?
I think there's 3 parts. First of all, they have to focus on innovation that the consumer wants. The consumer should should want to pay a premium for this. And right now, on Panasonic goods or Sony product, the consumer will not pay a premium for that. The second thing on research, the research have to be probably more important. Samsung is spending twice the research compared to Panasonic, and more focus on the right product again. And on focus again, the range, for most of those companies, the range of goods is way too large. They have to focus on very, very few goods in which they can charge premium price.
And that all comes down to management culture. All those things you've just mentioned, down to bad management, or at least the wrong kind of management.
Well, you have to focus on what your clients want, and you have to focus on the return on equity. If you're not willing to, if you don't have a pressure from your shareholder to drive the return on equity, it will be much easier to keep some divisions that are loss-making or are not very profitable.
Yannick Naud, thank you very much.
Thank you.